Archaeopteryx, the first bird in Earth's history. Around 150 million years ago, long before humans existed, before cities, countries, or even mammals ruled the planet, the Earth was a dangerous world dominated by dinosaurs. Massive predators walked across ancient forests, strange reptiles ruled the skies, and deep in the warm lagoons of what is now Germany, a mysterious creature appeared. It had feathers like a bird, but teeth like a reptile. Wings, but clawed hands. It could glide through the air, yet it still carried the deadly features of a dinosaur. This creature was called Archaeopteryx, and many scientists believe it may have been the very first bird the world had ever seen. But Archaeopteryx wasn't just another prehistoric animal. Its discovery completely changed the way humans understood evolution. Because before its fossils were found, people believed birds and reptiles were completely different creatures. But Archaeopteryx revealed something shocking. Birds may actually be living dinosaurs. Its body looked like a creature trapped between two worlds. Not fully dinosaur, not fully bird. A living transition, frozen in stone for millions of years. And the most unbelievable part? The fossils of Archaeopteryx were so perfectly preserved that scientists could even see the outlines of its ancient feathers. Feathers that belonged to a creature living during the age of dinosaurs. But here's where the mystery becomes even stranger. Could Archaeopteryx truly fly? Or was it only gliding from tree to tree? Was it really the first bird? Or simply one experiment of evolution that disappeared forever? For decades, scientists have argued over these questions. And even today, Archaeopteryx remains one of the most important fossils ever discovered. Because hidden inside its bones is the story of how dinosaurs conquered the sky. In this documentary, we will travel back into the Jurassic world, explore the discovery of Archaeopteryx, uncover how it lived, hunted, and survived, and reveal why this strange feathered creature changed science forever. This is the incredible story of the first bird in Earth's history.
To understand Archaeopteryx, we first need to travel back to its world, a world unlike anything alive today. The Earth of the late Jurassic period was hot, humid, and wild. There were no humans, no grass-covered cities, no modern animals roaming the land. Instead, giant conifer forests stretched for endless miles. Massive insects buzzed through the air, and enormous dinosaurs ruled almost every corner of the planet. Some were peaceful plant eaters, towering creatures longer than buses. Others were fast and deadly hunters. Among them were small feathered dinosaurs, lightweight predators built for speed. And somewhere within this dangerous ecosystem, a new evolutionary experiment was beginning. The beginning of flight. Scientists believe Archaeopteryx lived on tropical islands surrounded by shallow lagoons in what is now southern Germany. But millions of years ago, this place looked completely different. Warm ocean water covered the region, creating isolated islands filled with dense vegetation and strange prehistorical life. And hidden within those forests, Archaeopteryx hunted for survival. It was roughly the size of a raven, small enough to move quickly between branches, yet dangerous enough to catch insects, lizards, and tiny animals. Its sharp teeth could grip prey tightly. Its clawed fingers helped it climb trees, and its long feathered tail gave balance while moving through the forest. At first glance, it may have looked like a bird, but up close, it was still very much a dinosaur. Its skeleton resembled small carnivorous dinosaurs known as theropods, the same group that later produced the terrifying Tyrannosaurus rex. This discovery shocked scientists because it suggested something unbelievable. Birds did not suddenly appear out of nowhere. They evolved, slowly, over millions of years, from meat dinosaurs. Archaeopteryx became the missing connection between two completely different worlds.
The world of reptiles and the world of birds. But the story of Archaeopteryx became even more extraordinary in the year 1861, because buried deep inside ancient limestone, workers discovered a fossil that would change science forever. In 1861, inside a limestone quarry in Germany, workers uncovered something extraordinary. At first, it looked like an ordinary fossil slab, but when scientists examined it closely, they realized they were staring at one of the most important discoveries in human history. Imprinted in the stone were the clear outlines of feathers, perfectly preserved. This was unlike anything scientists had ever seen before, because feathers were considered a unique feature of birds. Yet the skeleton inside the rock looked disturbingly reptilian. It had sharp teeth, clawed fingers, a long bony tail. No modern bird possessed these features. The creature seemed impossible, part dinosaur, part bird. And its discovery happened at the perfect moment in history. Only 2 years earlier, Charles Darwin had published his revolutionary book on the origin of species. In that book, Darwin proposed a controversial idea that all life on Earth evolved gradually over time. But many critics attacked his theory. They demanded proof. Where were the missing links between different animals? Then, Archaeopteryx appeared. To many scientists, it looked exactly like the kind of transitional creature Darwin's theory predicted, a bridge between reptiles and birds. Suddenly, evolution no longer seemed like just an idea. Now, there was fossil evidence, trapped inside ancient stone. News of the discovery spread rapidly across Europe. Scientists rushed to study the strange creature. Museums competed to obtain the fossil, and debates exploded across the scientific world. Some researchers claimed Archaeopteryx was the first true bird. Others argued it was simply a feathered dinosaur. Even today, the debate has never fully ended, because Archaeopteryx possesses features from both worlds. Its feathers looked advanced enough for flight, but its body still carried the anatomy of a predator. And perhaps the greatest mystery of all was this: could Archaeopteryx actually fly? Or were its wings only the first step toward flight? To answer that question, scientists began studying every tiny detail of its body, from its feathers to its bones to the shape of its ancient wings.
At first glance, Archaeopteryx looks like a modern bird. It had large feathers, broad wings, and a lightweight body. But when scientists studied its anatomy more carefully, they discovered something unusual. Its body was not fully designed for powered flight. Modern birds have a large breastbone called a keel, where powerful flight muscles attach. Archaeopteryx lacked this feature. Its chest muscles were likely much weaker than the birds we see today. And that raised a massive question. If Archaeopteryx couldn't flap strongly, then how did it move through the air? Some scientists believe it could only glide. They imagine Archaeopteryx climbing trees using its clawed hands, then launching itself from branch to branch like a flying squirrel. Its feathers may have helped it stay balanced while gliding through the forest canopy. But other researchers disagree. Recent studies suggest Archaeopteryx may actually have been capable of short bursts of flight. Not graceful flight like an eagle, but fast, chaotic movements through dense Jurassic forests.
Its asymmetric wing feathers, similar to those of modern flying birds, hint that it had at least some ability to control itself in the air. And its lightweight skeleton may have made takeoff easier. Still, flying in the Jurassic world was incredibly dangerous. The skies were already dominated by terrifying reptiles called pterosaurs.
These flying hunters had ruled the air long before birds appeared. Compared to them, Archaeopteryx was small, weak, and vulnerable. Every flight could have been a risk. A failed landing or one wrong movement could mean death. Yet despite these dangers, flight offered something powerful: freedom. The ability to escape predators, reach food hidden in trees, and explore environments other dinosaurs could never access. And over millions of years, natural selection slowly improved these abilities. Feathers became stronger, bones became lighter, wings became more efficient. Eventually, dinosaurs evolved into the birds we know today, which means something unbelievable is true. Every eagle, every owl, every pigeon sitting on a city street is connected to ancient predators that once walked beside dinosaurs. And Archaeopteryx may have been one of the earliest creatures to begin that transformation. But while scientists were still debating how it flew, another shocking discovery would completely change the story again. Because Archaeopteryx was not alone.
For more than a century, Archaeopteryx stood alone. It was considered the ultimate missing link, the single creature connecting dinosaurs and birds. But in the 1990s, everything changed. In northeastern China, farmers digging through ancient rock formations began uncovering extraordinary fossils. At first, scientists could hardly believe what they were seeing. Dinosaurs with feathers. Not just one species, dozens of them. Some had fuzzy feather-like coverings. Others possessed long tail feathers and wing-shaped arms. Suddenly, Archaeopteryx no longer seemed unique. An entire hidden world of feathered dinosaurs had been discovered. Creatures like Microraptor and Velociraptor showed clear evidence that feathers existed in many dinosaur species. And this revelation transformed modern science forever. Because feathers were once believed to have evolved only for flight. But now, researchers realized something surprising. The first feathers may have evolved for completely different reasons. Warmth, display, camouflage, or attracting mates. Flight may have come much later. This meant Archaeopteryx was part of a much larger evolutionary experiment. Nature had been testing feathers for millions of years before true birds finally emerged. And some of these feathered dinosaurs were terrifying. Certain species hunted in packs. Others had razor-sharp claws designed for killing prey. In fact, scientists now believe that if you could travel back in time, many small dinosaurs might appear more bird-like than reptilian. They would have colorful feathers, quick movements, and behaviors surprisingly similar to modern birds. Even the terrifying Velociraptor from movies was likely covered in feathers. The image of dinosaurs as giant gray lizards began to disappear. Instead, the prehistoric world suddenly became more alive, more colorful, and far stranger than anyone imagined. And right in the center of this scientific revolution stood Archaeopteryx, not as the first and only feathered creature, but as one of the earliest known animals balancing between dinosaur and bird, a snapshot of evolution in motion. But despite all these discoveries, scientists still faced one final mystery. Why did creatures like Archaeopteryx survive while so many other dinosaurs vanished forever?